to build a society which is flourishing, it's very important to build individuals who will be flourishing. Society is like an ocean, individuals are like rivers. They all flow to the ocean. How they are flowing towards the ocean and what sort of ocean is created, what sort of society is created, that is the deciding factor. When it comes to the individual flourishing, what is that individual flourishing? It is so insane to understand. If you ask human beings on this planet, 99% of the humans, they can't ask by what they are made up of. If you ask them existentially by what you are made up of, oh, they tell, I have a body. Then they may tell, oh yes, I have a mind. That's why the whole society program is built on body-mind basis. And when only body and mind exists, that is in fact a negative growth happens in the society. Because the combination of mind living for body and body living for mind is one of the worst combination. Why? Because it becomes a loop or a vicious circle. Mind begins to orient the execution of life only aligning to body experiences. If you see how you spend your life is mainly on body satisfaction. I want to eat this, I have to see this, I have to hear this, I have to meet such and such a person. Like this, only body experiences, meaning the sense perception based, what happens through body. See, sense perception happens at many levels, because sense perception in the end, it indicates the ability to perceive. Ability to perceive is the basic of living, because without perception you can't feel you live. No, in the end, we are all living. We should feel we are living. That's life, in fact. That's the living, in fact. That's the ability to perceive the self. Actually, the whole manifestation of the nature from the consciousness is to feel itself. The feeling of the presence is life, in a way. When we understand this dynamics of expression of life, it's very clear that perception is very important, and it should not be fixed to only sense perception based. Only 5 senses. If you limit your whole life towards this 5 senses, it's like a frog living in a well. How many oceans are there? How many seas are there? How many rivers are there? How many wells are there? If the frog ends up living in a small well, what a big miss. The majesty of the ocean is missed. The elegancy of river is missed. It's a big shift in life. But as human beings, most of the human beings, they end up living in a small well of sense perception. It's a very big loss in the journey. When the life itself is getting limited to such a purview of limited sense-oriented body experience perception, and you go to job, you have relationships, you construct house, you do everything based on this restriction. Of course, a frog which is living in a well, it does everything based on living in the well. Then how a flourishing is possible? To flourish, the first and foremost thing what you need to understand is who you are and by what you are made up of. That's what I meant if we ask the question of by what you made up of. 99% of the population, they can't answer this question. They tell only body and mind. How many people know they are made up of 5 sheaths? We call it as PANCHA KOSHA. The body sheath, the energy, the mind, the wisdom and soul. Now, the whole society is established based on body orientation. Or some things people do with the mind orientation. How many restaurants are there on this planet to feed the food for the body? I don't want to call it as nourishing the body. Nourishment is different, feeding is different. Feeding satisfies the hunger, nourishment satisfies the flowering or facilitates the flowering. No nourishing restaurants. Nourishing restaurants are rarest of the rare on this planet. That is another issue. Feeding restaurants are there to satisfy your hunger. That itself indicates only a society is functioning which represents the body and mind. Even there is no study, practice, availability, expressions, organized methodology or anything based on energy, based on wisdom, based on soul. Until the awareness about the Pancha Kosha, meaning 5 sheaths of human being happens, any flourishment is difficult. Because flourishing means a comprehensive, a totality of functional expression. Flourishing is the awareness of who you are.
Ra